right now, the state of affairs in the United States, in the criminal justice system, is basically, it's called the criminal justice system because there's actually criminals running it, and that's why it's called the criminal justice system, because it's criminals giving people justice, white collar criminals, and this is the reason why a lot of judges they wear white collars. Same thing with lawyers. It's a white collar criminal justice system run by criminals. So how do you clean that up? And a good indicator of how you can tell how corrupt it is just look at the amount of fraud alone that has been allowed to happen in this country without not many people being held accountable who are part of it. Okay, so what are some ways you could clean up the criminal justice system and hold these people accountable that are the ones that help run it? Well, number one, none of them have to go through actual real background screenings or drug tests, drug exams. Okay, if you've worked for a decently large corporation in this country, sometimes these people have to go through like a 3-month pre-screening process. Okay, where they take hair follicle, they take blood samples, urine samples, take your fingernails. They do a very intense background check on your contacts and known aliases if you had any. Okay, our judges do not have to do that. Okay, judges, state and federal, do not even have to take drug tests to become a judge. Do you find that odd that they don't have to take a drug test? Like we just blindly trust them? That's something you should never do with people who work in the criminal justice system. Okay, same thing with state legislatures and the representatives who work for Washington D.C., who again, it's its own country and corporation. None of them have to take drug exams to become a representative of a state or a territory. Okay, so to clean a lot of this up, you would start by every single Sunday, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, anybody who works in the criminal justice system, police officers, okay, and it would be hard for them to grasp this and think that they would have to do this, but that's how you keep them honest until we can weed out a lot of the bad people. So every Sunday, and then state legislators too, people in Washington D.C., you have to take a hair follicle drug exam, blood tests, and urine tests, and fingernails, and then you have to provide your fingerprints to be put into the FBI's fingerprint database, just because we need to verify who you really are. You know what I mean? And if you are doing drugs on the job, because it seems like you'd have to be these judges and people in charge of the criminal justice system, they must be on drugs to have let it get out of control like this, right? So that's one easy way to start cleaning up the criminals in the criminal justice system. And the other way is the new criminal justice system. If you want to work in it, okay, because you send people to prison or jail, so whatever jurisdiction you're in, whether you send people to prison or jail, okay, you would have to start your career with a 30-day sentence. Okay, and that sounds like a lot, but then again, that's how you improve the food, the sleeping quarters, the logistics of a jail or a prison. Okay, because you'd have to write down, like, the whole thing would be, you have to write down the corrections that you would make or you want to see done, and then that would help improve our criminal justice system and help improve the food, number one. And I know a lot of jail inmates and prisoners can attest to that. But this would apply to anybody in the criminal justice system. Federal agents, doesn't matter. If you put people in prison, okay, if you arrest people, if you take away a human right of people, okay, for their alleged crime, you need to know what it's like to be in there before you ever put handcuffs on a person or take away their rights or sentence them, okay? And most importantly, the judges and the the prosecutors, state and attorney generals, those would be the people that would most need to start their careers in prison, okay? Just so they know what it's like, okay? Because they're the people that mostly send people to prison or jail, okay? So those are two easy ways to completely flip the criminal justice system and help clean it up, all right? Love you. Have a great day.